We all have sinned. We don't all continue to sin. Because once you got the Spirit of God in you, and if you don't think you can stop, are you saying you still sin? And if so, please give a little description and tell me what this sin is that you're still doing. Guys, I could live in a glass house. I really could. Might be some embarrassing moments when I got to jump in the shower or something, or use the restroom, you know what I mean? But that's going to be the extent of it. You know, that's about the extent of it. There's nothing that I'm doing that I'm ashamed of anymore. Give a little description of how you're still sinning. I could live in a glass house right now. I could. I've got nothing to hide. Nothing. It says those that say they abide in God and they're sinning, they don't know Him. They've never seen Him. They've never known Him. And I believe that. The other day I was mentioning how I was having a very bad experience with somebody, and I wasn't watching myself. You know what I mean? You guys, like it says, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities. And even in ourselves, you guys, when somebody causes you or gets you to get mad and upset, and you got to ask yourself, that's not like Christ. Would Christ get upset? Would Christ get mad? No. And this is why you guys, like even for me, I have to, and I'm in a good place for this, to just separate and not deal with this. But I'm going to share this experience I had the other day or the other week. A couple of times we had some really horrible work done by some contractors. They just basically caused just a lot of issues. And then when we complained about it, and then they came back and still had the same bad work. And then when I complained about that again, and then they sent the same person back. And I told them, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you. And I told them, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you. And I told them, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you. Everything that you do. I said, because of what you did. I said, I complained about you the last time you were here and the work that you did. And then all of a sudden, he came at me. And then I'm like, no way. And then all of a sudden, he came at me. And then I'm like, no way, and I lost my, I'm going to have to say I was not peaceable at all. I was not peaceable at all. And see, you guys, that's not how we're supposed to be. What I should have done was instead, because I know I was right about one thing, but my behavior was not right. My behavior was not right. That made it wrong. Even though I may have been right at one moment, I all of a sudden became wrong because I wasn't being Christ-like, Christ-minded. And what I should have just said was, well, if a person comes back and they say, you know what, I'm sorry, I did this wrong and I really shouldn't have, and I did it wrong, forgive me, I'm sorry. Hey, let's start all over here again, okay, easily. You can easily forgive somebody if they'll do that. But if they don't and they want to say whatever The thing is, where I have to stand on my thing, okay? He didn't ask to be forgiven for anything. And he wanted to tell me he wanted to come his way at me, and I should have just said, no, you're not going to be doing any work here today. And, and what we eventually ended up doing, they didn't want to do any more work for us because they said we complained too much about the work that they did. And one of them sprayed some kind of stuff in the air conditioner. And it had a bunch of orange, hard stuff in it. It turned it hard orange. So we called them to come back out and clean it up. And they admitted that it was the wrong stuff, that the guy used the wrong material in there. But then they wanted to charge us to clean out the mess that they made. But then they wanted to charge us to clean out the mess that they made. And that was one of the complaints that we had then too. And then the other one was where the guy didn't do any of the work that they said that they would do. And we still paid for it. And the thing is, okay, we paid for it. I had no idea the same guy was coming back out. Because I would have stopped him right there on the phone. I said, no, don't even bother sending him. It's not going to happen. Because number one, the guy didn't, he's not going to ask to be forgiven for what they did. He's not going to ask to be forgiven for what they did. They admitted that it was the wrong stuff, that the guy used the wrong material in there. And which we could move on like that. But the thing is, you guys, we have to watch ourselves. It's not him, but the spirit in him. Because when he first showed up, I tried witnessing to him about the times we're in. He immediately said, I don't believe, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything about Christ, And then from there, it just went bad. He was in and out of here and charged $1,000 for 30 minutes work. And he didn't do the work he was supposed to do. So, but it didn't make an excuse for me to, I lost my cool. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I just got loud. I'm loud anyhow. When I talk, I'm short-winded, and sometimes I have to talk a little harder to get the words to come out. So I do, but I did. Actually, I got upset. I was literally upset. I didn't want the guy there, and I was ready to have him leave. And the thing is, you guys, we have to watch ourselves. Because remember, it's not the guy, okay? But these are spirits that get in us, okay? Even when I was getting a little, what does it say? It says, resist the devil, overcome temptations, and they will flee from you. That's why we have Christ as an example. We have to be trying to follow Christ, his ways. Even if somebody is wrong, it says that in the Word of God. If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak. If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak.
If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak.
That's how we're supposed to be. And so I just wanted to come on here and say that, because that did happen the other day, and I don't like it. And even, going out in public, I'm seeing the manifestation in people, where people are even changing now more so that I don't even want to interact with them. It's time to get separated. It's time to come out from among them. But if you are around them and you have to deal with them, see, I don't have to. I could have just simply ended it right then and there and said, no, look, you're not going to be doing any work here. I'm not even going to stand over you and watch you. You're not going to be here. Because there's already a problem here. And I don't hate you, but, I know what it is. It's spiritual. He doesn't. He already let me know he didn't want to hear anything about Christ. So that's anti-Christ. Excuse me 1 second. And some people are getting more attacks than others, I've got a lot of mockers and scoffers out there. They can't stand me. And that's okay too. I don't hate anybody. You know, I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. I said, how am I threatening you? What am I saying that's threatening, you know? You know, I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. I said, how am I threatening you? What am I saying that's threatening, you know? And I told him, you know, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
My behavior was not right. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. And I told him, you know, I'm going to have to stand over you.
Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here and try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place.
Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car.
Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place. Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place.
Put the lady in the hospital, ran her over with his vehicle on purpose.
I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. So how am I threatening you? What am I saying that's threatening, you know? It says those that say they abide in God and they're sinning, they don't know him. They've never seen him. They've never known him. And I believe that. Because I know I used to be that way.